Joining us in the studio now is Phil Welch, Spreadsheet Product Manager with Microsoft. Next to Phil, Jan Lewis, President of Lewis Research Corporation, and Jared Taylor, West Coast Editor of PC Magazine. Gary?
Jared, if we look at the history of spreadsheets, I guess it really started with VisiCalc in the old days. And Lotus came along with the integration of spreadsheets and graphics and databases, and it really took that market away. Right. Now, is this same sort of thing going to happen again? We've got Excel out there, we've got Quattro coming along, and other products. Is history going to repeat itself?
I would be the last to predict that that's what's going to happen. 1, 2, 3 is very, very well dug in. I think at this point there are few people who would try to argue that it is a better spreadsheet than Excel, for example, or that it's a better spreadsheet than Surpass. But the fact of the matter is it's there, it's out in force, people are loyal to it, it's just got a bunker built around it.
But why is the market kind of breaking up to some extent then?
The reason that there are serious competitors out there now is that 1, 2, 3 has sat still for too long. Mm-hmm. In the face of the possibilities for technological improvement, it didn't come out with a version that lets you link spreadsheet, better on-screen formatting, better graphics, printing graphs from the screen, macro libraries. There are all kinds of things 1, 2, 3 could have done, but didn't.
But that's promised in future releases?
Yes. Release, when it shows up, Release 3 is liable to be an excellent program.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Phil, you're representing Microsoft and Excel here. Can you show us a little bit about Excel?
Sure. Excel is a very different sort of product than 1, 2, 3 or even 1, 2, 3 Release 3. It's designed to take advantage of the 286 and 386 processing power that most new computers have, and it uses those to display graphics or bits of information instead of characters. The way the product's organized is there are menus across the top, and you can get at those menus with a mouse, which many new users find easier, or you can use commands that are familiar to Lotus users, the / key, for example, to load files, and so forth. Now, adding works the same way that you might in a 1, 2, 3 sheet. You type a plus sign, then select a cell, and then type a minus sign, another cell, hit return, and you get your value. But what's significant about Excel is that you can use that same vocabulary across multiple sheets. Here I have several different files loaded, and as you can see, I can pick up and manipulate any of them. Now let's go to this annual sheet, size it up, and make a summary of these two other worksheets. I simply select a range of cells, type a plus sign. Let's go out to West. The first click activates the sheet. The second click creates the formula. I will type a plus sign, and we'll go back out to East. Now, you notice the way the formula works, it has the sheet name and the cell reference, sort of a 3D reference. So we'll finish up, take this sheet here, hit return, and it will link those sheets together. Now, another thing that's very easy to do in Excel is to make a very nice graph. I simply select a range, type a function key, and Excel will produce a graph. Now, if I arrange all these different files on the sheet, you'll see that they're still linked. That if I had, for example, a very good year in gear sales and change that value, it will show up first in net sales and then in the graph when I hit return. Now, the formatting capability in Excel is also very sophisticated. We think that it had to be a good analytic product to compete with 1, 2, 3, and we worked hard on that. But we also worked hard on the presentation capabilities. So, for example, I can take this chart and add a legend. Notice that Excel knows what that legend should say, and I can add an arrow and move it around. Maybe add some text, put that on the screen. Now, if this isn't the sort of chart that I want, we have a gallery of 44 different chart types that you can select from, and I can simply page through that gallery, pick a chart type that I'd like, and say, okay, I'd like it to be that sort of chart. So you can see it's pretty simple, but actually you can get very nice effects. What I'm going to do here is load up a chart that we prepared earlier. It's actually just a slightly more elaborate version of the chart that I was using. You notice it's linked to a worksheet. I'm not going to load that worksheet, but I could have. And anytime the values would change in that worksheet, they change in the chart. Now you can do that same sort of formatting on worksheets as well. I'm going to unhide a worksheet that I had stored in the background here. And you notice that I have fonts of different sizes and color. Now this is actually a live worksheet, unlike some other products, so that I can go in and adjust these numbers. And you'll notice that the value for income changed from positive to negative. It's actually a worksheet, and it's context sensitive.
Phil, I have to ask you to kind of dump out of Excel there, because we want to take a look at Quattro. And if you get the keyboard over to Jan, while you're doing that, if you can sort of talk at the same time, the concern of most Lotus users, of course, is the retraining and the relearning of another spreadsheet. How difficult is it for someone who's used to 1, 2, 3 to get into Excel?
We think that it's actually quite simple. We have a lot of 1, 2, 3 compatibility features built in, including things like 1, 2, 3 help, so that if you type the 1, 2, 3 command, you'll get the appropriate Excel command.
I think it's probably worthwhile also mentioning that the hardware requirements are heavier in Excel because of the graphics that you got to drive and so forth.
Sure. Yeah. So it does require a 286 or 386, but that interface that Excel uses is going to be the standard interface for OS/2 Presentation Manager. So the investment that a user makes learning Excel will pay off over time